Good Monday evening, everybody. Chris McDonald back with you. We are back home from our wonderful trip in New England over the weekend. I wish we could talk more about that. We will Wednesday night on our Face Show. I just want to say thank you to all that came out and was with us up in Long Island. It was such a great time of faith, fellowship, and we sadly saw our country delve into chaos over the weekend. It was just not the time to discuss it there and through the means of our show. But tonight we're back on our Monday night news show, and country has just gone completely into chaos, anarchy, and lawlessness in LA tonight. Very reminiscent of 2020 with this summer riots in Minneapolis, Kenosha, Wisconsin, St. Louis, Atlanta, Georgia, Ferguson, Missouri, back in 2017, 2018, and I would say to some degree to the 1992 Rodney King riots, but it's a little different dynamic. But full coverage tonight, and we're starting a little late because we've got Lori Mills coming on at 11. She's live from LA tonight, and she's going to be giving us an update as to what's going on. But we've got a dear friend, and he is just as important, and he is always regular on our show, and I could not think of anybody better tonight to get their perspective on what's going on. Then my dear buddy, Jeemes Akers, he's with us on the phone. And let me just say this, folks. Please share our video out, like it, subscribe to our channel if you haven't. We'll take your questions tonight. We're going to be here a while. One of those midnight special McFiles coming up. But James, good to see you tonight, buddy. I tell you, you said something to me before the show. You said that this country is going crazier by the day. And man, I tell you, it's going crazy, but it's also going lawless. I mean, we're seeing a breakdown of law and order in our country, man, and we're headed. We don't have a country, James, without law and order. We just don't.
No, I mean every country has to maintain at least the appearance of law in their country, and we've lost all form of that with these people that are protesting in L.A. and they're waving Mexican flags and this, that, and the other, and you wonder, well, why did they come to this country, in the first place? Then it is just crazy. The National Guards and my understanding, what I just heard tonight, some Marines are going to be called up, possibly
700 of them. They are. In fact, they've already been
to handle the discontent. And I know from my years in Washington that the military is really, really reluctant to engage against its own people. And in fact, I remember an ambassador from Israel one time that was at some sort of conference where I was, and he said, armies are designed for two things. There are some armies around the world that are designed to act against their own people. There are some armies that are designed to act against foreign adversaries. And the military much prefers to act against foreign adversaries. This is really places a strain. National Guard, I know they've had training with a shortage of troops. There's been a ton of National Guard training in terms of handling these types of domestic situations. But it is still very difficult. It's a difficult pill for the military to swallow, to intervene in domestic issues like this. And that's one side of it. The other side of it is these people are just completely lawless, and you're starting to have sympathetic actions now. I mean, even in our small town,
yes,
there was a bunch of anti-Trump, foul-mouthed anti-Trump protesters standing up here on the corner. I mean, it is this whole spirit of lawlessness, and as we mentioned on your program before, it is not confined to the United States. This is a global phenomenon. There is lawlessness, discontent everywhere, and with the media seeming to have the cameras ready for every instance of lawlessness, and we're starting to see that in spades in LA.
I think you mentioned something right there I want to really hit on here. I think people watching this tonight are thinking, well, this is crazy Californians burning their cities down. I would caution you believe that it's just in California. James, these Dems have been fanning the flames today. Maxine Waters, Chris Murphy from Connecticut, the mainstream media, even Newsom and Bass a little bit. They are pushing these people. Nancy Pelosi dropped the F-bomb tonight. She is as drunk as she can be, but they're pushing for this kind of rioting to take place across other little cities across the country. And I think that that's their goal because, see, you nailed it at the beginning about the troops. I don't think that any of us want to see American troops on our streets. I don't care what kind of situation it is. When the military is called in, that is never a good thing. We don't want that because that could be done. It could be a Democrat president wanting to bring the military out for Christian protesters. Maybe the Christians are standing in an abortion clinic, so he says, well, I'm just going to get the Marines to go down there and take the Christians away, and I'm not saying I disagree with what Trump's doing because I do understand why he's doing it. He has to do it, but that's my point. I think a lot of this is planned. A lot of this is being perpetrated by groups beyond what we're seeing on the TV. I was watching coverage of it tonight before we came on. I sort of hesitated to come on. I wanted to get sort of a feel. I've been traveling a little bit this morning. Just got back, got my feet underneath me. And I've been sick to my stomach watching these videos, man. But the hearing about all the pre-planned stuff just within the last half hour, probably not even a half hour, because it's sundown now in LA. It's 7 o'clock Eastern out there. But they have found baseball bats in bushes, frozen water, cinder blocks, bottles that they're probably going to fill with firecrackers, and they've been throwing fire missiles. They've been about the only thing they haven't really done is shot off automatic weapons, and I'm surprised that you ain't seen something like that. I don't think that there's any limit to this, but these are pre-planned riots, and they're baiting Trump up to do exactly what he has to do, Jeemes. Look, you can't blame Trump for this, and they're trying to blame Trump. Trump's just trying to get law and order, but this is how they spin it, man, and this is what makes it so hard because, it's a catch-22. If he doesn't do anything and LA goes up in smoke, he'll get blamed for that. If he does something tonight, like he's trying to do, and he's basically saying, if you're going to attack cops, I'm not going to sit around and let the summer of 2020 happen again. We're going to come in with the full force of the government, and we're going to shut you down. He's doing the right thing, but the media is not going to give it as the right thing. And you've got idiots out there, brainless, moronic idiots that believe this nonsense off the left. And I hate to use that term, but that's just how I feel about it. That's not a soapbox, but I think that that's where we're at. And this is the quandary he's in. And it's not a good place to be. And I think we better be praying for him to have a lot of wisdom right now because this is a time bomb. And I don't think it's just going to be relegated to LA. I think they've got other cities in mind that this is coming to. I just do.
I'm just by the tactics are being used. This is an orchestrated event. It's not a spontaneous event. This has been planned for a bit, and and the same thing. It has the potential to spread to other places, and the flames are being fanned by the media. I mean, I watched on TV just sort of a local channel, and their version of what is going on in LA, is completely at odds with the danger that I see out there, and it is though lawlessness is being celebrated, and we're just looking for a cause to celebrate lawlessness, and there's a total lack of respect for law enforcement agencies and law enforcement personnel, which is another deep cultural problem.
Most data centers these days are scattered across the map.
I'm listening.
That we've had, and it's just all seeming to come to a head here in LA, and Trump can't afford to back down. I think he probably regards as one of the worst mistakes of his first administration, not sending or not getting the cooperation to send National Guards, into the unrest in Minnesota and this, that, and the other.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I think it was a mistake, and he should have come down hard. And I think that it was, if you remember, it was election year. It was right before the 2020 election, and I think that there was a little bit of fear. And by the way, we're watching, folks, a live feed coming to us from Fox 5 in LA. The tactical alert has been declared, which means, James, they're getting ready. I think these police are getting ready to experience the protesters are gathering. I've seen some flags, some Palestinian flags and other things, and you're watching live a shot of LA right now, folks. It's around 7:14 Pacific time. But James, I think you nailed it right there, brother. I think that he has got to send a message now, because look, we're only 6 months into his presidency. They sort of started early this go around. There's a guy with a Palestinian flag sort of taunting the police right now. But buddy, if he don't come down hard on this, they're going to do it. This is going to be an earmark of the next 4 years. And I'm telling you something. I know you can't do it, but I wish there was a way that there was some kind of legal means and legal things that they could do to get some of these media types held accountable for fanning these flames. Look, these senators, these representatives, James, they are the absolute despicable scum of the earth for fanning these flames. And basically, Chris Murphy was literally out there saying today to these protesters, whatever you do, you take this to the streets all over America, not just LA, but we need to take this to every street corner in America. And I want to say this to the people in small towns tonight. James, I know where you live, and it's not just going to be isolated to the suburbs. It's coming to Podunk Collar, USA. It's coming to small town America, James, because I think that they're going to do everything they can to stop these deportations. And I want to make it clear that's what this is about. They don't want Trump deporting these illegals. And I'm sorry, they're here illegally. It needs to be done. He's not just going after families and terrorized families. He's going after rapists, murderers, fentanyl abusers, drug pushers, thieves, crooks, DUI killers. He's going after the murderers of people, of American citizens, Jeemes. And any good president would do the same thing that had a heart for justice and law.
Yeah, and that's really an important distinction to make. It is not U.S. troops going against law-abiding U.S. citizens.
That is correct.
These are illegals. They came to our country, and now they have adopted lawless behavior in our country when they're not even supposed to be here in the first place. And so the military, the Marines, law enforcement, they are acting against people who committed illegal acts to get into the country. And what makes us think that they're going to abide by any sorts of rules of behavior, anytime they get worked up, and we're just starting to see that, and I agree with you, and I hope I'm completely wrong. This is only a wave that's beginning, and this sort of stuff, fanned by the leftists. They're very carefully organized. They've been organized for years. They have a visceral hatred for Trump. They have a visceral hatred for any sort of law and stability, and they have a visceral hatred for Christians. And we are going to see that spirit of lawlessness grow. And so I applaud President Trump in his efforts to try to cut it off at the knees before this thing becomes
I totally agree.
A countrywide contagion. And there is that that potential. I mean, if you read scripture, I mean, it's very clear that in the final days there is going to be absolute chaos and lawlessness, and we are just starting to see the beginnings of that. And there are people in this country that have been brought up through our education systems that applaud the use of lawlessness and those tactics to cause unrest, especially when it comes to what they regard as a leader that does not pursue their interests.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you, buddy. Listen, I'm going to get you on probably tomorrow night too, and maybe Thursday night, because we got a lot more to talk about. I got some things in Israel I want to discuss with you. There was a report today that Bibi was talking to a group of people and got stopped immediately, and he took a call with Trump, and a lot of people was thinking that there may be something up with Iran. I'll let you sort of check on that and see what we can discuss with that. But Jeemes, you know,
I know you got other speakers, so I'm gonna hop off of here. But this whole thing with Greta Thunberg,
yes,
and Gaza
come on.
in Israel is just another instance where we have raised a social discontent and a troublemaker even at home.
Absolutely,
a teenager. We've raised her to a level of respectability that this young lady does not deserve, and so the Israelis have taken her. But in my mind, it's just another example of what we were saying before: the spirit of lawlessness that just takes over, and it's fed by a mob mentality, and you add on top of that this whole neo-Marxist leftist thinking that there has to be an oppressive class, and you are legitimate anytime you do anything against those oppressing classes, and those oppressing classes are us.
But yes, well, plan on being with me tomorrow night. We're going to talk about this because I've got some other things coming up behind you. But listen, I appreciate your thoughts on this tonight, and I will see you here shortly. Lori Mills is about to sign in, and I'll be in touch with you, man. God bless you, friend.
Okay, enjoyed it as always.
We'll see you tomorrow night, buddy. God bless, Jeemes. Jeemes Akers, everybody, put some fire in that house, and we have got the one and only Lori Mills about to pop in here. She's coming on a little earlier than we thought, which is good. And let me get her on here. And there is the woman right there.
Hey, Chris.
Good to see you tonight. Hang on just a second. I'm going to turn my camera off on this end so we can see you. Let me get us here on our Zoom page. And it's so good to see you, friend. It's been a while. How are you?
A little crazy, to tell you the truth. We just have so much going on out here with our freaking horrible and it just blows me away watching these people lie and try to blame President Trump. It's sick.
Oh, I totally agree with the blaming Trump thing. That has been the worst of this, to be honest with you.
Well, and that's why each and everybody needs to be online, counter. Do not let them steal the narrative.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. I can see you. I know you can't see me. Our camera, we got double cameras going. That's why. Hang on just one second. Let me see if I can turn this one off so I can show you. I can come on side by side with you here. But how are you doing? Before we get going, I do want to ask you how you're doing. We hadn't had you on in a while, and it's so good to see you tonight. And I hope you've been doing well. How things beside these riots going?
I've been good, just really busy between the party. Out here, we have this problem with this Soros-funded group Indivisible and Antifa. And they've been activated, I would say, for about 3 months now. And that's a story within itself. But
Yeah.
it's been nonstop with these people, and they do not play fair, and they're evil. They're freaking evil.
You're right in the middle of this. This is the
Yeah.
fourth night of this. Couple of things. Have you heard about any police officers being injured? I heard Christy Nome say tonight that there have been injuries, have been minor, but she
Oh,
said
I'm sure.
there have been some
Yeah.
that have been not so minor. We've been fortunate, Lori. Nobody's gotten killed in this. I'm telling you, I've been.
Oh, well, and
we've
it's
just
going to
been very
happen. The
fortunate.
Marines just arrived. You know, my son's a Marine, and he said if they attack the Marines, they're done, because the Marines will open up on them.
I
So
know
this
that.
is- Yeah.
I know that Trump.
Shut this door.
Oh, you're fine, hon. You do what you got to do there.
Sorry. Well,
So
I
good
got-
to have you tonight.
Every night after dinner, the dogs demand treats. And they'll yell at me until I give it to them. So I got to shut the door to keep them out of here.
I understand. I keep my door open, but I hear the little feet walking the hall when I'm on my show. She knows I'm on my show, and then she'll go back to her bed when I don't come out. I got a dog too. I understand totally. Hey, you know, I was talking with Jeemes Akers right before you came on, and he made a great point. He felt like that, you know, this was back in 2020 when this happened. Trump sort of delayed trying to get something done, and it may have been not the best thing. But this time he has made a very strong statement right away, and I think it's what he should do. But
Well,
also,
let's talk about that. They did this on January 6th, too. He
January
wanted to
6th,
National
exactly right.
Guard, and Muriel and Pelosi said no. He wanted to send the National Guard to Kenosha, and Tim Walz said no.
No.
And this time, the LAPD said, we are overwhelmed, and Trump said, Gavin Newsom, let's talk. We're wasting time here.
Yeah, without a doubt.
This is everything we're going to talk about, so we may as well talk about it recorded.
Go ahead. Well, listen, let me ask you this.
What?
Do you think Trump is, do you think that they're baiting him up a little bit? I know they're going to blame him for it. I feel like he's doing the right thing.
It's stupid. But that's why we got to get the truth out consistently.
Is Karen Bass doing, I think she's fanning the flames of this as well as Newsom. It's not just Newsom, but it's Bass.
I can tell you all about this when we
Go ahead.
live.
We're live right now. You're actually
Oh,
live
I
right
didn't
now.
know we were.
Yeah, we're
I thought
live
we
right
were
now.
Just talking.
No, that's what makes the McFiles so wonderful. When we talk just like this, I think this is our show. So yeah, we're live right now. So you can go.
Oh, I didn't know. I
Yeah.
thought we were going on, and I just didn't want to say things twice.
Go ahead and say things twice. You go ahead and rock and roll. I do want you to give us an update of what's going on out there tonight. We've got video of what's going on, but tell us what's happening in LA tonight.
Okay, well, let's start at the beginning. I would say about 3 months ago, Antifa was activated again. We never saw Antifa for 4 years while President Trump was in office. And suddenly, they're showing up again. They're blocking roads. They're attacking cars. And they've been out of control for a while. And I believe that the Democrats have called their foot soldiers because that's who they are. They are funded by Arabella Financial. They are funded by George Soros. Jennifer Van Laar, if you don't follow her, has created the entire money trail for this latest effort. Understand, in California, the problem is this for the Democrats. We are a sanctuary state against our will. And the reason they did that is when they flooded this country with 20 million illegal immigrants, basically those people, even though they're not citizens, are counted in the census. What does that do? It skews the congressional districts. Now understand, we are watching rapists, we are watching murderers, we are watching very bad people being targeted by ICE right now.
Yes.
And sorry, after this, it's game on for all of you. You should have used the CBP One app and got your $1,000 and went home and reapplied. Because I'll tell you right now, these people are done. But what happens if these illegal migrants are gone? The Democrats are going to lose 10 seats in California.
That's correct. That's correct.
So basically what's happened here, though, ICE has been doing operations. At first, they were only targeting criminal aliens. But due to the violence, they're all game now. They blew it for themselves. And everybody should want these criminal aliens out of here. Now, we've got another group here called Indivisible. Now, who's Indivisible? Indivisible are your trans activists, your left-wing activists, and they're involved with this too. Understand, BLM, the Hamas protests, all of them. You may as well just keep a change of clothes in the car because they're all the same people. So, me being the new vice chair of the Republican Party, we have certain areas of our county that have been ignored for decades. And they've turned very dark blue. And I don't know if you saw the video. It went very viral online. It was on Jesse Waters' show.
Yes.
One night, we get this message that they're trying to pass this care policy in the city of Ventura. What's the care policy? Well, the care policy makes us a sanctuary state to give kids sex changes. It makes us would make the city a super sanctuary state for illegal immigrants and would make it a super sanctuary state for abortion. Understand, we're in California. Proposition 1 was passed last year. Abortion is safe in California, sadly. Nothing's going to happen. Immigration, again, in the beginning, they were only targeting criminal aliens. After these riots, that's going to change the game. Sorry, guys, you blew it. But according to our state law, SB Senate Bill 54, the bottom line is local law enforcement cannot work with ICE unless there's a warrant. So they want to, make it a safe place for that. And with, excuse me one second. Sorry, I had a cold.
Oh, you're fine.
With the care policy also, they wanted to pass it to be a sanctuary state to give kids sex changes. Now, what's the problem with that? That goes against the executive orders. And the city of Ventura will lose their funding. We're already on the list to lose federal funding. As a Californian, I say take all of our funding. I want people here to feel the hurt.
Right.
I really do. I think until these people wake up to what's really going on, we're in trouble. And so what happened was I took Taryn to this meeting. The Conejo Valley School District tried to transition one of her daughters without her knowledge. So I figured she can tell the story. And so she's writing the speech on the way down there on her phone. And so what happened was traffic was bad. And I'm like, oh, let's not go. Let's just go to dinner. But God told us we needed to go.
Right.
So we got to this meeting. We're 143rd in line to speak. They shorten our time to 1 minute. Taryn's getting ready to speak. She goes up there and God told her to pray. He said, pray. Pray that the strongholds are broken. So she got up there and started praying. Demonic forces literally manifested.
Wow.
Screams and shouts and no. And the mayor stopped her in the middle of it and said, we don't do prayer. So after that, Taryn finished her prayer, looked around the room and said, every knee will bow. Every knee will bow. So after that, for the Republican Party, I decided to have her for an event. Well, Indivisible, this Soros-funded left-wing, hateful, tranny, activist, child sex mutilating group, decided that they were going to call the owner of the restaurant nonstop where we were having it and started flooding his page, his Yelp reviews, with 1-star reviews.
Wow.
So the owner of the restaurant called us and said, oh my God, what's happening? He said that his promoter, Robbie, was saying that we were a hate group. I'm like, we're the Republican Party. We're not a freaking hate group. So we asked for Robbie's number. We called him. Turns out he's a trans activist and part of Indivisible. So he said that we had to change our speaker or we couldn't do our event there. We told him to stick it where the sun doesn't shine. We would not cancel our speaker. And oddly enough, a gay man the very next day offered his estate in the hills of Ventura for us to use. So these guys are trying to cancel us everywhere. They're harassing businesses. It's just who the left are. They're the same people that were attacking Tesla. They are the same people that are out there at these LA riots today. They are paid agitators. I've got proof of that. I've got advertisements where they're offering these protesters $500. So this is all very well organized. They did not expect President Trump to step in.
I'll agree.
Or National Guard, because I'm going to tell you what would have happened right now. It would have been the same thing that we saw in 2020 in Wisconsin. They would have rejected the National Guard. They would have burnt the ICE building and the police headquarters to the ground and let go all these rapists and murderers. So I don't want to hear from Gavin Newsom, oh, Trump is creating chaos. On Friday night, the chief of police got a hold of Karen Bass and told Karen Bass, we can't handle this. And she told them to stand down. She told them to stand down. Same thing that happened in Wisconsin, because they need this chaos. They want this chaos. And President Trump said, nope, different ball game this time, folks. I'm sending in the Guard, and not only that, the Marines are on standby, and it's my understanding the Marines are in town.
Yeah, without a doubt. Do you think that this spreads beyond LA to other parts of the
100%.
country?
This is going to go nationwide. It's my understanding, even now, these leftist organizers are planning, I think, a day of
June 14th. No more King, June 14th. That's coming up just a week from Saturday. It's basically this weekend. And it's been that little group, Lori. It's interesting. That group that's behind that, they had like 1,000 followers 2 months ago, 3 months ago. That thing has exploded to 128,000 followers. That just goes to show you social media and the power of how these people organize so quickly. You mentioned...
Well, it's Indivisible. Indivisible is a nationwide group, and they all coordinate. They're like foot soldiers. We as Republicans, we don't do that sort of thing. Most of us have jobs. We like our families. We don't want to get into a violent situation. You know, and they keep looking at January 6th. January 6th was 3 hours long with maybe 50 agitators out of 1 million people. And this has been going on for 4 days now. And they're waving a foreign flag. We know we were invaded. I say deport them all. I would surround these people and I would throw them all in jail and charge them with federal crimes. I think Gavin Newsom should be arrested.
Absolutely.
I think Karen Bass should be arrested.
Come on.
All of them for inciting violence and basically sedition against the United States of America.
What about these senators? I mean, look at Murphy. Chris Murphy today basically was telling the whole world, said, we're going to bring this to all the streets. Maxine Waters needs to be arrested. She needs to be. And look, this New York mayor, New York, New Jersey mayor, I think them dropping the charges was a mistake. I think that they needed to prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah.
And Lori, if they don't do this, if they don't start putting teeth to what they're doing, they're going to keep doing this crap, and we're going to be at this treadmill every time a Republican president is in power. And it's going to be a cycle.
Well, if we lose this, let me tell you and put it out there right now. If we lose this and we lose the House on top of it, our country is gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
2024 was important. 2026 is just as important. And we cannot let them steal the narrative. I implore your supporters and your viewers, start collecting images on social media. Save them to your phone. When you see these senators posting stuff, you grab one of those photos, you quote their tweet, You call them out on their lie and show a photo. And you also do it in the comment section. We cannot let them take the narrative. And we have to expose them for who they are.
No, I'll agree with that. Do you think that where's the red line in all of this? Does it? You mentioned the Marines being there. Does it happen if a ICE agent gets killed? Does it? What's the red line in this? Because
Well, look at what happened in 2020. I think we had over 120 officers killed.
Exactly, we did.
Killed. And unfortunately, Trump was surrounded by the enemy, and he's not this time.
That's a good point.
I did not hear that that mayor in New Jersey got off. That's shameful. And that was a federal charge, wasn't it?
Federal charge, yeah. And they dropped the charges for some reason, and I think it was a mistake. Alba, the U.S. attorney, and I don't know what strings were pulled, but they pulled off his prosecution, and now he's threatening to sue the government for wrongful arrest.
Stupid.
And I mean, but that's the left, and Lori, that's where we're at in this country. But I think you're hitting on something that Trump has got the winds behind him this time. He didn't have the winds behind him the first time. He had the winds in front of him, and it's different. And he's got a chance to clean this mess up. He's got a chance to clean this immigration system up. He's got a chance to get these illegals out. And I'm going to tell you something else I do tonight. I would tariff Mexico so bad that you couldn't get a
did
taco.
You see their president calling for
that's what I'm saying.
nationals to attack to go to Los Angeles?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I would make sure that a taco would cost them so much to get across this border that there would be no mercy. And they need to be sent a message that, something, you don't want to be a peaceful neighbor to the United States. Well, we don't have to be a peaceful neighbor to you. And
well, they're not though.
And they're not, because they're financing and fueling these flames in LA tonight. Yeah. They are fueling.
Well, understand, when Biden was in office, the people that came into our country were the cartels.
Yes.
They've got inside operatives now, talking to Oscar Blue south of the border. You think our government's corrupt? Their government is literally controlled by the cartels. Tijuana has become a bloodbath. They're finding extermination camps in Mexico. Extermination camps with altars to De los de Muertes. They are evil. This is evil, and thank God for Oscar keeping us informed. But we have been invaded. The invaders are here. California probably has more invaders than anybody. Los Angeles alone, I think, has 4 million aliens.
Yeah.
4 million.
Do you see Newsom? There's actually individuals. Anthony Scaramucci tonight was out there literally tweeting that he believes that this is going to be the jumpstone to Gavin Newsom being elected president, because he feels what Gavin Newsom is doing is standing up to Trump is going to galvanize him. Is there any prayer in hell he becomes president in 28? I do not believe that's going to happen.
Not unless the people in the rest of the country fall for his Rico Suave BS, because the guy's the biggest liar in the world. If he moves his mouth, he's lying. He has destroyed our state. How much are you paying for gas right now?
Well, Lori, let me just back it up, let me tell you something else. We've not even been. Hey, buddy, we ain't even been 4 months removed from the worst fires in your state's history that these same two idiots mishandled then, and they're letting the city go up in flames tonight.
It's not going to happen. We got the Marines there now. We got the National Guard. They may do a little bit of damage, but I'm telling you, if the National Guard was not there and President Trump had not ordered them, all of those buildings would already be gone, and we would have a lot of dead police officers. President Trump is standing for law and order, and this proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that when the left ran on, we support the police and we want to secure the border, they were lying. And again, I'm going to bring it back up. What are you paying for gas right now out there?
Here in Tennessee, we're down to $2.50, $2.60 a gallon here. It's dropped.
California will be hitting $8 a gallon.
Good grief. $8 a gallon?
$8 a gallon because of state taxes, because these guys launder money. They lose billions of dollars. They say we have the largest surplus, yet we have the largest debt. Gavin Newsom has destroyed our state. We pay more taxes than anybody in the country. We should be walking out to squeaky clean streets. And you know what we got instead? We've got homeless everywhere. We have our roads falling apart. We've got no water because he won't let the water come south from the Delta. We've got so many illegal criminal aliens in this state that the people here are outnumbered. So it's crazy. I may have to head to Tennessee soon.
Come on down. We got it. It's a good state to live in, and but things here. But I will tell you this about Tennessee, Lori, and this is what's happening. Look, there's a bigger picture that we've not even went to tonight. Look, this spirit of lawlessness is spreading like wildfire and cancer.
And it's satanic.
It is satanic. Demonic. It is demonic. It is end time demonic theology. It is coming. It is coming as a promise and a fulfillment of what the Bible said was coming. But Nashville, our capital city, has turned deep blue. Memphis has turned deep blue. So the forces in California are seeking to export all of this over here to the east and the south and the Bible Belt and all the conservative red states. And then you've got this feckless Congress that, you got these Republicans that are not willing to stand up and be men and help get this agenda of President Trump codified into law. All of these, and you mentioned something about the Congress. Look, buddy, if we lose this Congress, every executive order, and we lose the presidency in 28, every executive order,
these executive
they've
orders.
got to. They've just got to. And I just think that, if he doesn't get some help, Trump's one man. God has done some miraculous things in 100 days with him, but he's still one man. He needs some help, and he's got to get some help from Congress, and he's just not getting it. He's not getting it from anywhere.
That's right. That's right.
Except for people like Lori Mills and other smaller podcasts and other shows like yours and mine that are out here trying to keep people informed of what's really going on instead of this bull crap, this bullshit that you're hearing from the media and these politicians. These politicians infuriate me. I'm telling you, I was just biting today. I was having to wash my mouth out with soap listening to some of them.
I'm just waking up late. I'm waking up late lately just saying, Lord, forgive me in advance. Forgive me in advance. But let me tell you something. General Flynn has always said, local politics have national impact. You have got to get people in your cities running for city council, running for school board, running for these water boards, because that's what the left does. They infiltrate the lower end of government, and then they all climb the ladder. And then they take over all of the bureaucracies in your state. Sounds like they're starting there. And it's happening in Texas, too. But I need to find myself a safe little island somewhere. I'm going to stay here and fight in California. I told my husband the last election, I said, if Kamala wins, expect the FBI to knock on our door. Because they don't like what I have to say. You guys, we are at war. I can't say it any stronger than that. We are at war. But it is Marxist political warfare is what they're using. It has not become kinetic. They are using information to destroy our country.
Do you buy into this?
A small chance to turn it around. And if we don't turn it around, I think America's going to end up like the UK.
We're already headed there. Do you buy this narrative that these are just peaceful protests?
Hell no. Hell no. Go check out my Twitter feed.
I saw it today. I did. It was all incredible stuff.
I mean, right now, if we could screen share, I'll send you some stuff. There are people that go out there because they're all emotional during the day. I saw one lady with a baby. Who brings a baby to a riot? Dumbass. But anyways, sorry, Lord. See what
that's all right. I did the same thing. Trust me. If you'd have heard me today, I was needing a priest, lawyer, and a banker all at one time today. But I'm mad. Look at this. These politicians upset me, Lord. Look, to hear Murphy this morning basically called for the rioting to spread to every street in America. That's anarchy. That's inciting violence. If you did that, I did that.
Sedition against the United States of America.
It's treason. It's treasonous to me.
Yep. Them letting 20 million people cross into our country unvetted was treason. Them trying to take down the duly elected president of the United States in 2016, 17, 18 was treason. Everything that these people have done in the last 10 years has been seditious conspiracy against the United States of America, and I don't know what it's going to take to stop this. I praise the Lord in heaven. He let President Trump win, but I'm telling you right now, if Congress doesn't pull their heads out of their rear ends and the people of this country don't stand up to this in any way possible, right now I am not hitting the streets. It's not my thing, but we must battle this disinformation war that they are raging on this country right now. These people being arrested, one of the guys, let me even see if I have it here. I'll read it to you.
Yeah, read that was Hannity tonight. It was unreal the crimes that these people are being arrested for.
Yeah, let me tell you about this guy. We've got Jim Feng Liu. His convictions: attempted murder, rape, and robbery. He's a Chinese national. He has been arrested by ICE Los Angeles. That's who they want to break out of jail. There's another guy, Chong Bon, 49 years old, illegal alien from Vietnam. He is a gang member, and his associates were asked to leave a high school graduation party following a dispute. He returned with a semi-automatic weapon and fired 30 shots at partygoers, and he killed 2 teenagers. He is in ICE custody. That's who Gavin Newsom wants to let out of jail. Then we've got this other guy, Ronaldo, I can't say his last name, sorry, from the Philippines. He had theft, assault, burglary, and rape. Los Angeles detention right now. That's who these people are crying to let out of jail. This guy's a real beauty. A 29-year-old Brazilian who basically his charges were aggravated rape of a child, possession of child pornography, obscene material, assault and battery, and kidnapping. That is who these people are rioting for. That is who these people want to set free. These are the people that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris let into our country. And I will be damned if I let this country fall to criminal hands. And if they want to wave their Mexican flags in the street, and they love their Mexican flag so much,
send it back.
They are welcome to leave.
They are welcome to leave and send it back. We need to come down on Mexico. While you were talking, we were showing video just now. Dallas, Texas is having issues tonight. The riots are spreading to Dallas. There's protesters trying to block the bridge there, just like they were blocking the 101 in L.A. And Laura, you live there. I know that what the media is saying about this. The police chief seems to be sort of a wavering, feckless bum, but he's scared. They're scared.
Their jobs are threatened.
What is the main people on the street telling you? Is the people of LA scared tonight themselves about these riots?
Well, where the riots are is in downtown LA. Now, downtown LA is the garment district. It's where all the federal buildings are. There are some people that have apartments there in high rises. I'm about 30 minutes outside of the city. I'm not concerned. And if they were to show up here, I am very well prepared to defend myself and my family. So what we're seeing is this is happening in the cities. I am concerned for law enforcement, and that's about it. I'm going to send you a share request really quick, because I would like to share a photo with you.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
I think it says everything.
Okay. I got it. All right. You go right ahead and send that, and we'll put it up.
Okay, let me see. Desktop. Okay, hold on a minute. This picture says everything. Can you see it?
Which one? You had
Oh,
you didn't click it on there. Right there,
Oh.
yes. Right there. Okay.
that is Los Angeles, California last night. Do not tell me that this man loves our country. He's got De la Muertes, which is the sign of the devil, all over his pants. I saw a close-up photo of him. He is obviously a gang member. He is obviously a legal alien, and he needs to get the hell out of our country.
Yep. All right. Good deal.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there you go.
Yeah. I know you got to go in a little bit here. I'm glad you mentioned about. I know you mentioned about the.
Really monitor this
I
situation.
know you mentioned about the family. And you sort of took the question out of my mouth. Are you feel safe tonight where you're at?
Oh, 100%. I live in the reddest city in Southern California, and I can tell you right now, you drive up my street and it's Trump flags, and I can tell you I have a huge safe behind me. That has a lot of things that I can defend myself with. I am fine. And I've got 4 dogs to warn me if anything's coming.
Folks, I tell you what, I'm going to keep you, if you give me 5 more minutes, and I'll let you go. If you got a question for Lori tonight, folks, real quick, Corey Aguilar asked you about, she wants to say that MedCal, the welfare thing, are y'all broke? She said that she hears that y'all are, your Medicaid, your state Medicaid program broke thanks to the illegals being put on the rolls. Is that true?
Yeah, that's why they want the money for this speed train that they've never built tracks. They've spent $200 billion on that. In 2014, the people of California passed Proposition 1 and gave the government $200 billion for water storage. You saw what happened with the Palisades fire with the empty reservoirs. These people are criminals. They have been stealing from us. Our pension debt is invested into the CCP, and that as well is trillions in debt. So don't let Gavin Newsom lie to you. This state is in huge trouble. And the federal government is ready to cut us off, and I say cut us off. Cut us off. I am willing to suffer in order for the people of California to wake up.
Are these people that are protesting, Lori, are they from within California, or do you think they're being shipped in from other states?
No, I think they're from here. There could be people from Mexico, for sure. But you have to understand, Los Angeles has the highest Hispanic population, I think, in the nation. And most of them are illegal.
Okay. That don't surprise me. I'm just... Did you see this coming? Did you see this coming at all? I mean, I know that the summer of 2020, when George Floyd and all that stuff happened, I think we were holding our breath. This just blew up this weekend. I mean, this was like a...
No, this has started. I have friends that went to the Beverly Hills Freedom Rally. They were surrounded. This is 2 months ago. They were surrounded by Antifa. They had those scooters thrown at their cars. I told you. A few months ago, we noticed Antifa was activated again, and it started with Tesla. This is starting again.
That's a good point.
This is
I hadn't thought about
the
Tesla.
same thing we saw before. This is not new. It's just escalating. And that's why President Trump has to shut it down. And I hope they just surround all these people, throw them all in jail. I don't care. Oh, one good thing we have going for us. Bill Asaley was in our state assembly. Great guy, prosecutor, and basically what happened was while he was in our state assembly, which is California's Congress, he would get up and the Democrats would just turn off his mic. They wouldn't listen to him. They kicked him off all the committees because that's what they do with a supermajority. And the Republicans don't have a voice. Trump tagged Bill Asaley as our new U.S. attorney, and he is going after these people.
He is. I saw that tonight. He posted a thing and so forth. What's your couple of quick fire questions? Listen, I'm going to get you back on maybe next week when all this calms down. But let me ask you.
I really need to monitor it.
Real quick question. Pam Bondi, 1 to 10. What kind of job is she doing?
I love Pam. I want to see more.
Okay.
I want the
Fair
I
enough.
want the
Fair enough.
Epstein files out. Yeah, I want more from her.
Good deal. Cash Patel, same.
I trust Dan and I trust Cash. I think that they are being meticulous on making sure whatever cases they have are solid, but they need to do it quickly.
Okay, bud. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. I know you got a lot going on tonight. I want to thank you so much, dear, for coming and listening. It's so good to see you. And I will...
Only for you on the riot.
I know, and that's why I appreciate you. And I will make it up to you. We're going to have you back on for a longer show next week, okay?
Yeah, I'd love that.
Sounds good, honey.
I adore you.
I adore you, too. Bless you so much, Lori. Have a good night.
You guys, run for your local offices. Don't let the left take over your cities and state. And then make sure to follow me at Lori Mills on X, Uncover Cali on Rumble.
Yeah, and I do encourage. I'll give you a shout out. Her X account, folks. She's got a lot of this stuff that you do not want to miss. She's got one of the best X accounts about it going on. So go see it. Lori, God bless you, friend. Talk soon.
God bless you, brother.
You too, sweet.
Bye-bye.
Bless you now. Lori Mills, everybody. Put some fire in that house, and I'm going to come back over here to my live screen. We were trying to get the camera. The cameras don't work on two different platforms at the same time. That's why I had to do what I did there. She couldn't see me, but y'all could, and I guess that's all that matters. We're grateful to see you tonight on a McFiles Monday night, Mac. This worked out. She was not going to be able to come on until just now, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a few videos, and then if you got any questions, I'm going to keep taking the questions tonight. You're watching a live scene right now. This is coming out of L.A. They've already made 40 arrests tonight. That's just in the last, I would say, hour and a half. Hannity had several people on tonight, and Bill McGugan, who is one of the better reporters at Fox, he's covering this live. And this is just tonight. There have been 40 arrests made. This is the fourth night of protest, and we're going to keep an eye on that. But I saw a comment made by somebody said that Texas and Dallas was happening, and they cut away. This is Fox News 5 in L.A. that we're watching tonight. And there's things going on in Dallas, Texas, and you folks over in the Lone Star State need to be alert. Folks, I would say that I don't care where you're at in this country tonight, I would be very, very alert. Jeemes Akers, he's in Ohio. I know where Jeemes is at. It's not the biggest of towns that he lives in. And if they're doing stuff in his little small town, I would say that this is coming to a town near you. I sent Ricky a message. We were going to try to get her to come on, but she's with family tonight, and we don't want to get into her family time. But she just sent me a message, and she said that the Lord told us, Mom and I, both, that this was coming, and it's going to bring exposure. And we're going to talk to Ricky about this in a few weeks when she comes on her regular June appearance on the McFiles, and her and her mom Nita are precious to me. And I'm sure we will talk with her on a Monday night. I think the 23rd, maybe, is when she'll be with us. So, and we were trying to get Magdalene, but she had some family issues too. Couldn't come on tonight. We were trying to get some folks. Orlando Rodriguez, he is at an event in D.C., so we were trying to pull a lot of people in. We're trying to get some law enforcement people to come on and talk about it. Now, look, we're going to be covering this all week, and tomorrow night, James will be back with me, and we're going to be talking with him more, and we're going to try to get Eric Carrot in on this. Angelina Orsini will be with me, radio show, and so please be with us if you can, and so forth. We're so grateful that you're here tonight. If you got a question for me, go ahead and so forth. Good to see old Jason Miller in the house tonight. Jason's been and any questions tonight? I want to play a couple of videos. I think Lori may have gave me her maybe whatever was going on with Lori went through that camera, and now I'm sniffling. Goodness gracious, what a mess. But I wanted to show you a couple of videos tonight. This is downloaded from today. This is, what is this here? This is Trump and Rubio today about these protests and hurting police. Roll the tape.
stand in the way of the deportation, something that Holman may have suggested.
If people stand in the way of law and order, yeah, they will face charges. Thank you very much. If they stand in the way of law and order, they're going to face charges. The media is trying to incite a lot of rioting. Joe Scarborough and Mika need to be shot. This is, let's see here. What is this? I'm trying to get, seeing some of this. This is the looting. By the way, this is all these, they're claiming they're protesting the illegal immigration issue. They're trying to stand in the way of ICE taking these gangbangers, killers, and murderers and rapists away. Well, for some reason, it seems that it's a season, it's not about the illegals as much as it is, hey, this gives us a chance to loot.
You guys are looting. Can I get a new pair of shoes too? I'm not doing shit. Yo, grab me a shirt. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Man, let me just get a shirt up in here, dog. I'll watch your back. Yeah, I got you, bro. Hey, whoa, Mike.
There's another 2 minutes of that. You get the message. That's what they're doing tonight, folks. They're looting. That was last night in L.A. This has nothing to do with them protesting ICE. And to the nuts at CNN, to the nuts at CNBC, to the nuts at the MSDNC, to the nuts at the Nothing But Crap Network, to the nuts at ABC, to the nuts at CBS. These are not peaceful protests, folks. Things are being burned. People are getting hurt. And the fans and the flames were not fanned by the National Guard, though they were flamed when you allowed nearly 11 million illegals over the border into California, Gavin and Karen. And when Tom Holman showed up this weekend to basically nab criminal elements, and most of them were in California, and these brainless rioters started doing what they did, that's what fanned the flames, not Tom Holman. Not Tom Holman. Got a question, folks? I'm waiting for your questions. Any question you got? Dennis Floyd says, we are at war. Time to quit messing around. Time to open Alcatraz and put a gallows there. Chris Davis says, the useful idiots are being used by these liberals always die last. They've never learned their lesson and never will. Corey says, what bothers me is that the left are outraged about the deployed military, but they forget they were deployed during the Rodney King riots. They act like it's something new. Corey, that is so well said. And I'm going to tell you something else that is so hypocritical, are the masks. Hakeem Jeffries was out there threatening Friday. And you see, this is the thing the left don't realize. They fanned these flames weeks ago with some of their rhetoric. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries was basically out there saying that he was going to dox every ICE agent that was wearing a mask. The Boston mayor was claiming they were terrorizing people. Jay Paul says, well, they go in and they kidnap families and they kidnap these illegals with masks on. Well, it's amazing to me how that they wanted to mask you up and mask me up, and if we didn't wear a mask, to put a penalty on us 5 years ago in this COVID bullshit. But yet, when the ICE agents wear masks to hide their identity from cartel members and other dangerous elements, and by the way, have you seen one of these protesters and rioters yet that don't have a mask on? There was a few in that scene there, but I'm sure if we go back to that scene, and you can see them gathering now, folks. You can see the police are gathering, but you can see the increase in the protesters, and they're taunting the police somewhat there. Nothing major happening, but it looks like that this night is about to get rough. I saw my dear friend Juanita Broderick. She asked the question, what was ahead tonight? And I don't think it's going to be anything good. I can tell you, as the sun goes down, I would not be surprised whatsoever that there is a lot of this going to erupt again. I do want to just show a few videos that we've got. This is President Trump. Let's see here. By the way, this is some of what the rioters are saying. This is not about ICE, folks. This is about the takedown of the United States of America. Roll the tape.
Wherever you're at, we all have a common enemy. It is the same one. Everywhere you go, when you go down the street, there's the enemy. There's the enemy that works for the other enemy, who they all work under. So we all share the same common enemy. Everybody has the same enemy. From LA to Africa to Palestine to Vietnam. We all have the same enemy. That's one enemy. And it is not me. And it is not you. And it is not them. We are not the enemies of each other. They are the enemy. There is only one enemy. And we all have to work together in unison to fight this one enemy.
That's right. Capitalism,
the faster we learn that, the more we can grow as a people, and the quicker we can get to this revolution and overturn this motherfucker.
Excuse
and
the language.
Real people leading this country.
Excuse the language.
That's right.
I didn't realize he used the F word. I would have deleted that. But that is the mentality of these rioters, folks. The enemy is the police. The enemy is the law and order. The enemy are the ones. By the way, I'm just a South Georgia boy. I'm just a South Georgia boy. That looks like a mask to me. That looks like a mask to me. I wonder where J. Paul is tonight telling this punk they need to take that mask off. You got something to say, punk? You got something to say, coward? Say it to us with your face. Say it to us to your face. With your face. They don't do that. They don't do that. Cowards.
Elementary, my
Pathetic cowards. Pathetic punk cowards. And I might as well just go ahead and get this out of my system tonight. A lot of these punk kids that are doing this stuff are children that were basically probably taught as growing up that they were owed something. They were basically entitled to something. They were entitled to act like this. And instead of getting their asses beat like they should have been when they acted like that when they grew up, they were patted on the back by mom and daddy and, it's okay, little Johnny, you can spit in the face of police. It's okay, Johnny, you can burn a flag. It's okay, little Johnny, you can urinate on the flag. You can do all these things. You can bust glass out. It's okay, instead of getting their ass beat. Goes back to mom and daddy. It goes back to mom and daddy. Now that I got that out of my system. Oh, Lena, we've already talked about the No Kings. We've already talked about that. And I will talk about it more tomorrow night. But there is a movement. We haven't had a chance. In fact, if you go to our Telegram page, I encourage you folks to go to our Telegram page. We're following these stories there. They're planning a nationwide No Kings protest day against Trump and deportations on June the 14th. So this is not over by any stretch of the imagination tonight. And I'll just put the article up. We've already got it up on our Telegram room. And we are basically, let me see if this will copy and paste. It should, nope, it didn't. It didn't copy it. Hang on just a second. I'll show you the Gateway Pundit article. And we encourage you to visit us on our Telegram room, and please subscribe to it, folks. We could sure use your help subscribing, and also if you're not subscribed to our news network, please do. But yeah, that's the emblem that they've got right there. And they defied our courts, deported Americans, disappeared people off the streets, attacked our civil rights, and slashed our services to corruption. Oh, that just looks so left-wingish, don't it? Just a real lovely bunch there. But we'll cover that more tomorrow night and so forth, because I'm quickly running out of time and so forth. A couple of other videos I want to show you. This is those peaceful protests, by the way, in LA. It's amazing. And somebody tweeted that same picture out. And by the way, this is the statements that are being made tonight by Elizabeth Warren, This is just a peaceful protest. Peaceful protest by Cory Booker today. Kamala Harris, overwhelmingly peaceful. Gavin Newsom, it's under control. Where's Baghdad Bob when you need him? LAPD, we've had no incidents. No incidents. Okay, whatever. Whatever. We're going to get some folks talking about this week. This is Maxine Waters. She should be arrested tonight. Roll the tape.
Down here to the detention center to see if I can find out what is happening with David Huerta. He is one of our leaders in organized labor, head of a local SEIU union. I don't know why they picked him up. I don't know what they're going to do to him. I don't want them to deport him. I think that he is being targeted, but our city is being targeted because we're a sanctuary city. Trump hates us. He does not like this city. He's trying to intimidate, and he sent the guns in here on us. The governor didn't know anything about the National Guard coming here. He did it on his own. We can't be intimidated. We've got to get the people out. We've got to get the elected officials out. We've got to resist him. I'm going back out into the communities where ICE was last night to make sure people know that their elected officials are standing with them. Thank you.
Not ICE, by the way. Not ICE, by the way. She ain't talking about it. We're standing with ICE. No, that ain't who Maxine's talking about. That is one crazy blank. This is a family show, so I can't say the word I want to use. But that's one crazy blank. That's just one crazy blank. In California, can I ask you a question tonight? Like I'm asking all of you people out there to vote for these people like Jasmine Crockett and Maxine Waters. How does this lady stay in power for 40 years? How does Nancy Pelosi get reelected over and over and over again? Are you not tired of this mess? And you know, if the country's not tired of it, if the country's not tired of seeing their cities burned down, if the country's not sick of this crap, if the people, we the people, are not sick of it, this crap's going to keep happening. Stephen, your question, can Trump send special forces into Mexico to get those cartels? Well, it's a sovereign state, Stephen. It would be risky. I think that they're probably already doing something like that secretly. He can't just announce it. Cartels are not the biggest problem, though. The cartels are only one source of this. There's other groups. If you killed all the cartels off, this would still go on. Cartels are not the root cause of this. To be frank with you, Stephen, people like this are. People like this are. I'm more ticked off at Maxine Waters than I would ever be at the cartels. I expect the cartels to be evil. This is the LAPD chief tonight. The brain dead LAPD. Roll the tape.
But when I look at the people who are out there doing the violence, that's not the people that we see during the day who are legitimately out there exercising their First Amendment.
They're legitimately acting out their First Amendment rights, sir. Are you kidding me? Now, see, he lied there. Because he was telling everybody yesterday when Trump sent the National Guard, he said, we don't need the National Guard. We got this under control. And his California highway patrols are now in riot gear. And he's over his head. This man's over his head. Roll the tape. 43 more seconds.
And to be able to express their feelings about the immigration enforcement issue. These are
the immigration enforcement issue? Sir, do you hear what you're saying? Do you hear what you're saying? There is no immigration enforcement issue. They're illegals. And I am so sick of hearing the word immigrant. They're illegals. They're illegals. I don't have my color crown out tonight. I'm not prepared tonight. I will draw this in crayon tomorrow night. They are illegal. Roll the tape.
People who are all hooded up. They've got a hoodie on. They've got face masks on. They're people who do this all the time.
But see, that's just where he's wrong. They do it all the time. But there's no difference, folks. There's no difference in those peaceably, quote-unquote, protesting and doing what he's describing. See, that's lying. That is manipulating words. That's manipulating the truth. That is manipulating what's really going on in L.A. to make Trump look like the bad guy, to make the National Guard look like the aggressors and so forth. That's untrue what that man just said.
Get away with whatever
because they're the same people, the same group.
From one civil unrest situation to another, using the same or similar tactics frequently, and they are connected. Some would call them anarchists or by any other variety of names, but they're people that we run across routinely city to city, and this is what they do. So even more disgusting that many of the people who are doing this come in from other places just to hurt people and to cause havoc.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And you see, he's in a mess, and I don't have a lot of sympathy for him. I have empathy for him in this manner. I've got a feeling he is in the same state that the fire people were in under Karen Bass back in January when these fires were raging. They had their hands tied. They had no water. They had no resources from the city, thanks to the feckless leadership of Karen Bass and the feckless leadership of Gavin Newsom. They had nothing to help with. The police are not getting any help tonight. So he may be in a quandary, but what he said was fundamentally untrue. There's no difference, folks, in the peaceful protest and these anarchists. They're the same. There is nothing peaceful about this at all. At all. At all. And to believe that, you'd have to suspend reality. Which some do. Here's more of the violence. We're almost done tonight. I think they set this car on fire. No, here it is. Let's just say that you get the message. You mess with the police, you hit the police in the face, that's what you're going to have happen. That's what you're going to have happen. This is somebody explaining what the state of California is going right now. This is not too bad. Roll tape.
The state of California came here with armed law enforcement and shut down our preschool. 100 kids. We had just applied to add another 50. And they shut us down because we weren't putting masks on 2- and 3-year-olds.
In other words, they sent the military in. Newsom did this back in 2020. He sent the National Guard into schools that wasn't putting masks on 2-year-olds. But they're complaining tonight that the ICE people have got masks on. Go figure. Miss Sadie D says an illegal alien from Mexico told a reporter for an unknown online page he stated that he wants working class America to join with him to establish socialism in the USA. In the USA. Well, that doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me. That's what they want, Sadie. That's what they want. Danny, I know you're saying that it's you say it's cheating and voter fraud in California. Danny, I'm going to agree with that, but I'm going to disagree at the same time. That is a crutch and that is a crock that we lean on when these demagogues get reelected over and over again. It's not cheating and defrauding every time. What happens is that these districts get drawn up, and instead of people rising up in these districts, it's like a prohibitive favorite in football or prohibitive favorite in a horse race, which means that there's really no chance they can lose. The Democrats do this every year. They draw these, they gerrymander these districts, and they get in these. That's why AOC gets reelected in New York. Same thing. It's really the gerrymandering of the district lines, and a lot of that's done because the Republicans don't stand up and fight. There's nobody to stand up against that. So I'm not saying your comment is wrong, but I tend to get I think that's a cop. I'm not talking to you, Danny, but a lot of people feel that way, but it's a cop out. And Danny, I wonder if the figures are out, how many people go vote. They actually go vote in these elections. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not all fraud. It's not all cheating. Some of it is much deeper than that. And I might as well just go ahead and say this, Danny, it's a spiritual issue. If the country was spiritually right and people were spiritually right, people like Maxine Waters wouldn't be in office. And I'm not saying that we don't need diverse viewpoints. We do. But if the country was spiritually right, which is not going to be really till Jesus comes, if we're here, we're going to keep electing evil leaders. We're going to keep electing evil leaders. I could talk more about that. I think that's all the video I got tonight. We will have much more video tomorrow night. This has been a horrible, horrible weekend in California, and I think it's about to get even worse. Yeah, I do want to say this. Greta Thunberg, let's see, what is this? This is LA, the sanctuary city. Let's play this. This is CNN, and this guy on CNN was cut off when he told the truth about the sanctuary city issue in LA. Roll tape.
Brad, what are you thinking?
Well, we got to this moment because California has a sanctuary policy. The state law forbids local law enforcement from cooperating with, or local government from cooperating with immigration enforcement. We have immigration laws that govern the entire land, and California is willfully ignoring them. California's left-wing politicians set this up. If California had long been cooperating and helping enforce immigration laws all along the way, this would not be.
It's not the whole state. You do know that some of this is jurisdictions. There are certain towns that do. Yeah, but there are certain towns that absolutely have cooperated with federal authorities.
Shouldn't they all?
You know, this is part of the issue that is always interesting here is when Republicans want to talk about states' rights. It's about states' rights when it is something that they're interested in, and not when it is something that perhaps Democrats and their states are interested in. And so I think...
But we've all agreed on what immigration laws are.
Well,
There's not a state.
We're going to talk about this more in the hour. I want to bring in Steve.
And that was CNN. Did you notice how they just brushed that off? He told the truth here, folks. You put a sanctuary city up. If you put a sanctuary city up, these illegals are going to come thinking they got sanctuary. This story is not done, but my time is up tonight. I want to thank Lori Mills deeply tonight. I want to thank Jeemes Akers deeply. We got a lot to talk about. I had not even gotten to the Greta Thunberg situation. I got to show you this picture. And this was by Noah Berg, and I can't even quote her tweet about this. This is one of the victims that was kidnapped. You see the blood? You see the blood on her arms? And the blood on the back of her pants there going down to the bottom. They had beat her. Likely raped her before they put her in the car. Well, Greta Thunberg's out there tonight claiming that the IDF kidnapped her today. We're going to play the video tomorrow. We played it on the radio show today. And Nora Berg basically told Greta, this is what a blanking kidnapping looks like. You were not effing kidnapped. And I'm quoting Nora. This is not Chris's words. It's Nora's words on the Twitter handle. That's why I don't want to post it. But, folks, the Justice Department is suing a coffee shop in Oakland, California tonight for refusing to serve Jewish customers. And he's being charged with violating civil rights laws. That's happening here in America. So, the same element that's wanting to destroy our civil rights here in America, destroy our Constitution, destroy the laws of the land, basically make this a lawless country. It's the same element that's not serving coffee to Jews. Same group. Same group. They go by different names, but they're the same group. They're the same groups. JC, we've already talked about that. Yes, Dallas is under attack tonight. Dallas is under attack. Let me do this. Let me go back over here to our screen one more time and look at the... there it is right there. That is a live shot Actually, it's not live. That was from earlier. That's the live shot of LA. The sun has set in LA tonight, and you can see the protesters getting a little bit closer to the cops. They're expecting a very, very volatile night in LA tonight. I don't doubt it, and we will follow this. This is the way I'll look at it, folks. If we get some kind of breaking story tonight, I'm going to be up for a while. We'll come back on later, but as of right now, we're going to wrap it up. This worked out good because I didn't want to have to come in and do 2 shows tonight, so Lori coming on early helped. But we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. And at McFilesforum@gmail.com, if you got any questions, we encourage you to be with us on the radio show tomorrow, and we'll pick this up tomorrow night with some other guests and so forth. Chris Davis says, doesn't the police chief know that he's literally selling his soul to Satan and what will happen to his loved ones sooner or later? Chris, I don't know about selling his soul to Satan. I think the second part of your question, though, is more powerful. I don't think he understands. I don't think any of these people in leadership understand that I put it like this. These people that are protesting tonight, if they was to show up at this LAPD chief's house, he wouldn't like it too much. If they was to show up at Gavin Newsom's house and Karen Bass's house, they wouldn't like it too much. And their families being put in jeopardy, like these police officers are being put in jeopardy tonight, they wouldn't like it. I want to just say this tonight to the police. I tip my hat to you. Do your job. Do your job. We're praying for your protection. Stand firm. You ICE agents, stand firm. The Marines, I hope that it doesn't come to anything that they need to be used for. I think that they're more for just monitoring to make sure this thing don't get further out of hand. But the illegals need to go. They need to go. They do not need to pass go. They do not need to collect $200. We're going to talk about Amel Grabar, the illegal alien that they sent away, and now he's back in the United States. The Dems were having margaritas with. Now he's been charged with human trafficking. I want to see them take a selfie with him now. He's going to spend 40 years plus in an American prison and then go back to El Salvador when he's done, if he survives 40 years in prison. Folks, we got a lawless country on our hands tonight. This is the biggest story. We got a lawless spirit that is gripping this nation, and it is spreading like wildfire. It's coming to a city near you tonight. It's coming to towns all over this country. I think what President Trump is doing tonight is the right thing. I want to go on record. We support him 1,000,000% what he's doing. There are some dangers in this. I've never been a fan of military action. I know there are a lot of people that were calling for that and just flippantly telling people we need to take to the streets and go civil war. We don't need a civil war in this country, folks. These same cowards that tell you that would not even get out there and move an inch. They wouldn't even leave their kitchen. They'd sit on their carcasses while you went out there and got yourself shot doing something crazy. Don't listen to voices like that. You don't want civil war. You don't want the military roaming the streets of America. On either side. You just don't. In this case, because of the overwhelming number of these rioters, and I've got a feeling it's going to increase before it gets better, maybe the presence, at least, of the Marines without doing anything, just knowing that they're there, I hope will make cooler heads prevail in L.A. The political fallout of this is going to really come down to the American people. If this nation wants lawlessness, then they're going to believe the Democrats. If they want law and order, they will appreciate and support what President Trump's doing. It's that simple. There's no gray area here. There's no gray area. Do not believe the lie that these people that the law enforcement agencies are trying to enforce the law about are being terrorized, or these are innocent family members. None of these people are innocent. None. There is no innocent when you hear illegal. You take every title away. Once you say you're here illegally, then you're no longer innocent of anything. you're no longer innocent of anything. You may not be actively burning a building down or burning a car down or breaking in or looting, but you're here illegally. You're still breaking the law. And that's the bottom line. We don't need to forget that. All right. I'm done. Did you enjoy Lori Mills tonight? And Corey, I heard about the Congresswoman admitting she's an illegal alien. She needs to be deported too. She needs to be deported too. And so forth. And we hope that you have a great night tonight. Did you enjoy the show? Put some fire in that house. Now listen, we're going to do this again tomorrow night, probably around the same time, around 9:30. As of now, we're working on getting some guests. I've talked to a local sheriff here in Knox County that I knew when I lived in his county. We're trying to get some law enforcement people on tomorrow night to talk about this from a law enforcement perspective. We're working hard on that. Maybe Eric Kieran. We will have Angelina Orsini, hopefully. Jeemes Akers will be back with me. And we've got a lot to talk about Israel. There's some breaking news over there tonight we hadn't got to. We just live in a crazy world. I need about 6 hours a day to do this, 3 hours a day, but I only got an hour and a half at night to do it. So we'll let you go tonight. We'll pick this up tomorrow. I want to tell you all in Long Island, I love seeing you guys. It was such a blessed weekend. We'll talk about that more Wednesday night. And so good to see you. So good to see you this weekend. It was a great weekend. Hate that I come home to all this tonight, but it is what it is.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
It's always elementary. May the Lord bless you tonight. Be safe out there. Pray for your country. And we'll see you back here tomorrow night on the McFiles. Good night, everybody.